Hey, this is Cool Trains in Montreal, and I'm here to show you my favorite locomotive, my favorite N-scale locomotive that I have. This is an Intermountain FP-9 or FP-7, I guess, and it's the classic Via Rail, quintessential first generation Via Rail locomotive that goes so well with these Rapido Trains CCF cars, these original CN cars that were repainted into that Via Rail scheme in the early 70s. So I have actually had these restored. Um, Even now you can see that some of the, if it hasn't been running a little while, you get that noise. So Intermountain, they're a little bit finicky sometimes with the motors. This one was quiet before, now it's just starting again. I don't know, maybe needs a little extra lubrication maybe. But these are pretty good runners. They do get some slow speed there. I'll show you in a minute the slow speed on these. I got these around 2007, I guess, or 2008 they came out. So, I mean, they're not as good runners, definitely, as Kato, but they're pretty decent. I've only had to do the lubrication once. This one's doing okay, I suppose. It needs maybe a little more of a break in. It hasn't been running a little while. But these are, for me, the nostalgic trains of my childhood. Every winter we used to go, my parents and my brother, we used to go up to Windsor. So Toronto to Windsor, two different trains. We had to take one from Montreal to Toronto, and then change trains in Toronto and go to Windsor. And these were the trains of the late 70s and early 80s that we took. These nice classic blue and yellow Via Rail classic nut colors. Nothing against the green colors of today, but yeah, these were just great. I just love the contrast. It looks so modern. Even today, I think these are the most beautiful eye-catching colors that these old locomotives had. Some people will obviously disagree with that. I'm sure it's better than the first generation Amtrak, that's for sure. At the same time, Amtrak had these maybe a decade earlier or so, in the early 70s as well. Theirs was just platinum mist and red, and yeah, wasn't as great as this. I really liked this colors, and they're even bringing back the giant Via, the large Via like that, on the new train sets. So yeah, these were and are probably the greatest Via Rail paint scheme. Oh yeah, by the way, the one in the back is a B unit, and for some reason they did paint it like that with the yellow striping, even though it's a locomotive. There's no cab on the B unit, of course, and the A unit has that yellow, and for a time they did have the red Via. I preferred it with the red Via, but they had dropped that for a while. The newer versions of this paint scheme, they just decided it was too expensive, I guess, to put that orange Via in the front, so they dropped it. But personally, I liked it better with the Via. It just was probably the epitome of this paint scheme. So by the 1990s, these trains were gone. The F40PHs had taken over, and everything was LRC. And for a time, in the mid 80s, you could either get an LRC train or you could get the standard Rapido trains. These CCF cars were considered the Rapido on the corridor, on the Montreal to Windsor corridor. So I have these trains to build a representation of the Bonaventure, or whatever that the Rapido, whatever those trains were called. I have to check in my historic records. To represent the Montreal to Toronto train or the Toronto to Windsor train. But yes, these were the trains of my childhood, and they are awesome. So if you like what I do, please subscribe to Cool Trains in Montreal. Have a good day.